Okay, this is Flora, and yeah, looking good. Um, just checking out the different surfaces. Thinking these shoes are going to need more detail, and there's something gone wrong here a little bit. Because I can see this face is sticking off the bottom. Not exactly sure what happened here. Let's try and figure it out. Just resetting my tool. That's something I do a lot. If there's anything wrong with the tool, just double click it and hit reset tool. And okay, it's just that you pull this edge beyond the front there. Sometimes that's like a result of people trying to, do too much stuff in smooth, and you should, switch back and forth between smooth and not smooth. So yeah, fix that, and I definitely would put Control Shift X. I would definitely put another sort of holding edge around here, so that that holds its shape a little bit better, and one around here as well. Why would that go lower? There we go. Whoops. There we go. So, and then yeah, this looks a little problematic here. I think this could really be rounded out, this top shape here. Maybe this one could come up a little bit, but then maybe these could come down. Just deselecting these, Control Select. It's looking a little nicer to me. I feel like this topology isn't so great, where it's a lot of wacky things going on with this. So what's up with this face? Is that all just one big face? Yeah, it's got some weird overlapping thing where that's sort of tucked behind there, and I don't think you want that. Nope. Where is it? Well, I'll select that face and I'll Control Shift right. Oh no, Control right mouse click. Yeah, Control right mouse, but two vertices, and then it selects those. But I'm going to deselect that and that. And what else? And these. Try to see what happens when I lift this guy up. Okay, that's better. Yeah, I just the thing to generally when you're looking at topology, what you want to look out for is really stretched out faces, and all of these are really stretched out. So clearly, there's not enough geometry there. Yeah, and there's some wacky stuff going on. Oh yeah, and here's another. This is sort of. It's just very stretched out. And what I might do with something like this, I mean, it's a lot to sort out geometry-wise, but actually, by the way, I'm going to isolate this shoe just so I'm only looking at that. That's the Isolate Selected button. And so another way you can use the multi-cut tool, Control Shift X, is if I click outside here, I can, add some more that way. And then once you add it, then though, be sure to get in there and shape it. And I feel like I want to hook this stuff up too. Getting that consistent thing going around. And I'm not real fond of this edge. Shift right mouse click, delete edge. It's a good habit to get into. And then maybe we can actually maybe merge there. Target well or something. Whoops. Oh. Why did I do? I don't know. Let's try that again. It's starting to look a little kind of cleaner. This is kind of messed up. I don't know, there's just a lot of stuff going on with the shoes. A lot of little funny areas and issues. Like, why is that there? This is just sort of a bit of a messy area here. Yeah, did I do this? I don't think I did that. Where these are so close together. So yeah, I mean, I guess the point is lots of little cleanup on the shoe. I mean, you know, look out for, see how this is really pulled out beyond here. I would kind of, well, actually, I mean, at some point you might sort of remirror the shoe. Like if you cleaned up one side, you could, maybe I would pull this out a little bit and push this one in a little bit. I'm just trying to kind of round out this side because it was such a sharp, you know. Yeah, there's some nonsense going on up here. Well, I guess it's just that there's, yeah, see, that's, I don't know what that diagonal is there for. Do we need that? Shift right mouse click, delete edge. Don't think so. Anyway, I think there's more you could do. I just trying to trying to look a little better. Anyway, yeah, just, you know, look for errors to clean up. What I might do is remirror it after this. You know, after doing one side, see how that works. Looks pretty good. Let's see how good the mirror tool does. So we'll do it mirror direction from negative to positive, good. Mirror axis position based on the object. Merge border borders. Let's do 0.001. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, maybe not. I don't know why. Did I have the wrong mirror direction or something? Mirror direction. Maybe it's supposed to be positive? Oh, mirror axis X. Yeah, that's right. Object. That's funny. It's as if there's some other, like, geometry out here. Well, anyways, we can just do it manually if that's being funny. So hold down D and V and middle mouse drag to say, I don't know, anywhere along the center line, like there. Control D for duplicate. Scale in the X direction. Let's do minus. Oh yeah, look, it's not perfectly lined up. I might just freeze transforms first. Modify, freeze transforms, and delete history. Edit, delete by type history. Yeah, and maybe for the moment, I'll just move it to the center. I'm gonna move it back afterwards, and then select the verts along the center line. Yeah, I can already see they're not lined up right. And then where's the thingy here? No. Here? Yeah. Make this absolute and x 0. Enter. Do they change at all? That looks good. Okay, and then duplicate and scale -1 and the x, and mesh combine. This is just manually doing what the tool does. And select all of these and edit mesh under vertex or components, I guess. Merge options, yeah, anything closer than like 0.001, just to be safe. Merge. And then so it's clean. So yeah, it's looking a little better, but just keep going on that. I spent too long on it already. Yeah, and obviously then you'd have to move it back, into position. Yeah, the shape of the legs is really good. I just think that you need to finish this a bit up here. I think there's some weirdness to your shape around there. I think you could just work on that a little bit more and maybe get a little bit tighter to the body so it's not sticking out so much. Move those verts in a little bit, and then maybe add some more detail at the top. Maybe you've got I might just draw this just to get the line I want, and then maybe could select this, shift double click there, get that loop. Although I have to say I think I would straighten out that top line first. Which I wonder if this would screw it up. Probably would. Just wondering if I flatten this out this way and then rotate it back, how much that would mess it up. Quite a bit, it looks like. Actually, no, not too bad. And then you could go back in and adjust. Which should we put mirror on? If I hold down W, symmetry. Is that working? Yeah, that is. And then I could try to go in and tighten these up. That's probably gonna make the line not straight anymore. But the other thing, what I might try. Oh, these are a bit tight here. Those are pretty close together. I'll turn off symmetry. Hold down W, symmetry. I might, I don't know if this will work on the edge, but let's give it a shot. So if I go into move, if I hold down W and do axis, normal. Oh yeah, that just kind of pulls it in towards the middle. That worked pretty well. I think, there's some areas you'd have to pull back out again, but again, I could use the axis thing here to, oops, maybe do symmetry now, so it's the same on both sides. That's a better way to do it. And then maybe these could go in a little bit too. Oh, I think having symmetry on when I do that though is going to mess it up. But yeah, that's a nice way. That's a nice way to make things sort of either thicker or fatter. I think you're going to really want another loop in here to get some shape to the butt, because I think it's going to sort of struggle without a little bit more detail. We're still in normal. Let's put symmetry back on. Can kind of push the shape out a little bit. Just middle mouse dragging on that. I don't know, that looks weird too, but you'll have to just put more time into it. It's a problem. You can't, this stuff doesn't go quickly, that's looking a little funny. But anyways, the point is, I think, yeah, get that tighter to the body. Oh, and then the point I was making was I was going to say that, once that top thing's straightened out, if I do, let me make sure my symmetry's off now. Sorry, shift right mouse click, extrude face. And I might just sort of, pull that out a little bit more, just to get a sense of something on the top there. Maybe you want to add more edges too if you want that to be sharper, but I think that looks a bit better. Yeah, I'm wondering what you're doing with the neckline here. That looks pretty unfinished. That might be a cool example of circular eyes. My new sort of, is that this one? No, it's this one. So, yeah, to kind of get used to, why did it tilt it like that? Oh, maybe, no, I don't have symmetry on. I don't know why it would do that. I thought it'd be smart enough to just... it's just weird. I don't know why it would tilt it that way. I mean, you can, I guess, manually straighten it. It kind of looks messed up. I thought... Okay, well, forget it. That's just causing more trouble than it's worth. Yeah, I think you'll just manually shape that. And yeah, look out for these real stretchy looking kind of areas here. This is kind of, I like, for something like that, I like under the surfaces, the Sculpt Geometry tool options, and using the smooth thing, and make sure under stroke that you've got reflection turned on. Then hold down B and click and drag to shrink the brush size. And then I can just kind of touch that up, and it just sort of, well, smooths it out. Because there was some weird geometry stuff going on there. And then if that's not the right shape, you can add detail later. I do think you need more. I don't know why this is kind of, I might not have this be so. And if I want to put this, I'm just holding down W to get this menu and clicking respect to object here. Let me put this down. Maybe move these up and out a little bit. Yeah, and you'll just have to shape that and just build up the neck and stuff, neckline. Hands and arms look really good. Yeah, I really like that. It looks like you've put a good amount of effort into that, and I think it turned out really well. Yeah, nice shape there. Good hands. Good forearms. Maybe a little bit more shoulder shape. Probably gonna need more geometry in here too to get that. Why is my shirt poking through there so much? Oh, okay, just a smooth thing. I hate the button now. Sorry about that. Okay, so yeah, there's some tips, but yeah, good work so far. Keep going. Next up is Taylor, and you mentioned you thought the assignment was to do the model posted with the zip file. I supply that because some people manage not to do a good design, and so I leave the option of modeling the one that's demonstrated. And I can see how it's confusing a little bit. So by your character, I mean like your character design. Maybe I should say the word design in there or something. But anyway, you have an option now of continuing with this character or doing your own. But let's look at the my file. Okay, so yeah, it's coming along pretty well. Something's gone wrong with the neck color line here. But what I'm seeing is that this doesn't look the same as the thumbnail, which makes me think that something went, although maybe there is something a little funny going on in there. But well, a couple things. If you're finding like when you turn this files in, weird things happen like this, delete the history before you turn it in. You can select the surface and do Alt-Shift-D or Edit Delete by Type History. But yeah, I mean, at this point, if you were gonna, those little circle things are. So I guess what I'm wondering is your actual model messed up, or did something happen when you turned it in? I'm just trying to delete off some stuff here to get back to where things seem to make more sense. It clearly seems to be something messed up here. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. Yeah, see this here? That all looks a bit crazy. Better turn off symmetry. I'm just holding down W and going up to symmetry. Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to have to keep tearing this away to the point. So yeah, that would be my question. Would be that, like, maybe your file's okay and something happened when you turn it in. The way to avoid that is to delete history and make sure we're using the same version of Maya. If I go to help about Maya, you can see I'm using Maya 2018.4, and the key point being here is 2018.4. So make sure you're using that version of Maya. Anyway, yeah, and this little surface here is sort of worrying me. So, yeah, and it's not symmetrical. So what I would do at this point is then delete off half of this and see if we can get the mirror thing to work normally. Shift right mouse click, mirror options, cross the X, negative to positive, merge border values 0.01, apply, nope. Yeah, why is it doing that? If I'm saying object, it should be aware of the size of the object. Anyways, in the previous one, I showed how to manually mirror these. Let me delete history and freeze transformations, modify freeze transforms, and then Control D for duplicate, scale -1. Ooh, okay, let's move this to, hold down D and V, middle mouse drag to here. Now let's duplicate, scale of -1, X, select these two, mesh, combine, select the vertices. Really, you can select all the vertices. I'm just going to do the ones down the middle because that's all you really need to select. Edit mesh, merge, options, 0.001, apply. Left a little bit of a surprised by that. I don't know why I'm seeing that seam. I shouldn't if I've merged the vertices successfully. What the heck was that? That was absolutely bizarre. Wow. Oh, now it went away. That was weird. I don't know. Normally when I do that merge, I don't get this edge. Could do one thing I do sometimes as sort of a troubleshooting thing is I do where's this? I think it's mesh display, or is it? Oh, mesh display, right. And then, yeah, select the vertices, and then mesh display, set to face, and then mesh display. Soften edge, and okay, that seems to have put things a little bit more back to normal. But then, yeah, I think you have some sort of stretched out things here a little bit. Still, it's seeming to do that seam. Might just be a question of moving this. That's not a good sign that it's not picking this. I don't know, this, I just feel like it's acting a little funny. So I feel like maybe something happened in the file when you turned it in, so let's just go back to the original, delete history, and turn it again. This hand is, it's really like, it looks sort of flattened. I might just scale it out this way a bit. Something looks wrong with the thumb here. Yeah, look at that extra, those extra edges there. That's where you might want to just use mesh cleanup, and in the options for mesh cleanup, select lamina faces, non-manifold geometry, edges with 0 length, and faces with 0 geometry, and clean up, and then see if that got rid of those. It looks better to me, I think. That weirdness on here. Yeah, no, there's still some. Oh no, this is a very, very small edge there, so I might slide this back. I think your shift right mouse click, slide edge, shift right mouse click, slide edge tool, and maybe scooch that back a little bit. And, ooh, that's still not looking quite right. Something. No. I don't know why that looks like that funny rounded thing. Not sure. But yeah, I mean, it's like you've got a lot of geometry leading up to this, and then suddenly there's not that much along the top here. I might actually delete a row or two, and then maybe, you know, try to shape it better with fewer rows here. Just trying to kind of round this out. I don't really like that much. But you know, it's like I'm trying to get a little bit more of that thumb shape here. Maybe let's move these in a bit. Anyway, I just try and just work on the shape. They're a little stubby too. And yeah, maybe round this out. Let's see if Circular Eyes wants to help us out on this one. Yeah, not so bad. Get that straightened out a bit, and then scale it maybe a little flatter, but it's still rounder than it was, you know, even though it's a little flatter. And then, you know, maybe grab a vertex here, B for soft select tool, hold down B, click and drag, and shrink that down, and then maybe we can pull this out a bit more, and, you know, just work on this shape. A bit more. Anyway, so that could use some shaping, the hand, but I think it's already looking better than this hand over here. If we look at this one versus that one, which is way too skinny. Yeah, and look out for these overlapping things, and let's try to fix the color. And these are looking okay. It looks a little thin on top, but so you might adjust that a little bit. but you can use a little bit more love on shaping this. Yeah, overall you're following it pretty well. So keep going. Okay, next up is Geoffrey Garland, and let's start with the hands. Those are going okay because you're going for that real blocky shape. I might do what I did in the last one, which is take this edge, turn off being soft select, and then circularize that and twist it until it's straightened out, and then just to get kind of a bit of a rounder shape going. And a bit bigger to match this more closely. Maybe take the whole thing, move it down a bit. You know, maybe this thing needs to scale up a bit too. I don't know, could work on that shape a little bit more. How many edges are here? Display, heads up display, poly count, that can't be 104. Why is it saying 104? 12. That is weird. Control F9. Okay, 26 verts it's saying versus 12. So, are you trying to stitch those together? Yeah, it looks like it that has to be continuous. So here we go. Might take a, well, let's just move this out a bit. You're gonna have to get this down to 12. So let's start. Oh, what's that? Why is that there? Is that there on purpose? Shift right mouse click, delete edge. I don't know. So let's look at terminating these edge loops. So here's a trick to getting rid of edge loops, but maintaining quads on the surface. So I'm going to use target weld mesh tools, target welds, and get start wherever we think we don't need as much detail. But I'm going to kind of pull two to the center here. So pull this to here and that to there, and then work my way the rest of the way down like that. And then you see I've got two triangles here, but if I just right mouse click and then select edge, shift right mouse click, delete edge, that's now a quad. See, that's a four-sided face. And you might want to go in and adjust it and even it out a little bit, but it's fine. So yeah, and again we'll just look to do that in any tight areas. So back to the target weld. Move those in along here. And then again, we can delete this edge. And if you want, you can adjust this, like so. So what are we up to now? Select this, shift double click here. 22, and we have to get to 12. So definitely, well, you're going for that squared off thing, so I can see where you want. I don't know if do you want it that squared though? And maybe it can start rounding out down here. So maybe even if you want those that close together, which I'm kind of saying I think it's maybe too close together, maybe it starts rounding as it gets to the edge, and we can turn and weld those. So let's do that. Same thing really, just over and over again. And then delete this guy. Right? Okay. And let's keep going around the front with the same technique. I think maybe these. And then maybe these here. I might, go in and adjust the position of those at the end too. Whoops. Okay, what are we up to now? Vertex like this, shift double click. We're at 16, okay, progress. Yeah, probably these, because they're pretty tight anyways, or somewhere, maybe even just down here. Fine. I gotta get two to go together is the thing, so. I don't know, let's see how we do from here. I think you can afford that one. And then you'll just have to, adjust this shape a little bit now. But I guess then these would be the two triangles, so that becomes a quad. And then I was showing before, to smooth out an area like this, I kind of like the Surfaces Sculpt Geometry tool. And it's on mirror now, I actually don't want it to be. So under stroke, I'm going to turn that off, that reflection, and just, hey, why is that not working? Oh, there it is. I don't know what happened last time, but just kind of touch that up to, and maybe I'm losing some of your blockiness, so maybe you want to get some of that back, but it was just looking a little too chunky. Okay, what am I up to now? 14. Okay, we need just two more. Where does it look tight-ish? Over here, I guess. So edge, where's my weld? There it is, it's right here too. Yeah, look how tight that is. We don't need that there. This to that. This to that. Get rid of, whoops, this one. Whoop. And yeah, maybe you want to kind of even this out a bit. Anyways, that could use some more shaping now that we've done all this. But yeah, so are we there? 12? Yay! Objects, so you might want to go in and position these a little bit better first. But we can do, at this point, we can do combine, shift right mouse click combine, and then take these two edges, shift right mouse click, bridge, and then there you go. And then maybe we'll go back to that Sculpt Geometry smoothing thing and just, smooth out that whole connection. And so it looks sort of like a seamless connection. I think that needs more sculpting in the sort of overall shape, but there you go. You might want to get a little bit more of an elbow here. Oh yeah, the fold thing you were asking about. So, not real happy with this asymmetrical thing you've done so far. What exactly have we done here? Ooh. Yeah, I was just thinking of a couple different ways to go about it, but well, I mean, one thing to do could be, you know, that's not going all the way around. It's just poking through there. What if we did this? What if we take out this row here? Maybe let's take out this color step just for now. I'm just shift double clicking the one next to it. I think there's too many little edges in all this anyway. Okay, just trying to simplify things, clear it out. Whoops. Nope. This and shift double click on that one. Oh, that's not good. Oh, because of the way this terminates here. Oh yeah, so maybe just control and then deselect. Oops. Control select this stuff. Let's get rid of that. Okay. So we got rid of all that stuff, and then I was sort of thinking, I don't like this triangle here, and oh, this has got an extra vert there. Shift right mouse click, delete vertex. I'm just trying to clean this back up again. I might just take this edge and extrude edge and pull this out, but then I'm going to have to kind of, you know, just fix this by merging these two vertices. Might just do mesh tools, or I'm sorry, edit mesh, merge to center, yeah, just to make that all seamless and see if that's, yeah, that's all looking okay. So now what I was thinking was to take this edge, well, just from here to, actually let's isolate this. Isolate selected. Alright, I feel like there's some little touch-ups that could be done before, but I'll start from here, go down, shift double click to that one just to get that edge. And then I might do shift right mouse click, extrude edge, and is that acting normally? Maybe like that. Let me go back to the concept art. So it's a lot more diagonal than I have it. Okay, but we're starting to get the overall. I think that, yeah, and that one sort of comes in here, so yeah, I mean, it sort of would have been, yeah, might have done this a little different from the start, but let's just keep going from where we are. No, just want from that to, there we go. I think this one has to, I'm gonna just switch to this. This one has to kind of go into, and This is going to go down diagonally. Just selecting all these, and we'll kind of move them down a bit, and then deselect these and move these down. Looks like they have to come out of touch here. Might need more detail. These could also be pushed in too, so they don't overlap. Nope. This one, shift double click. Why is it doing that? Oh jeez. What about this? There we go. I just need to kind of move this whole thing in. Just deselecting them one at a time as I put this in. Anyway, I think, you know, I could spend a lot of time doing this, but I think hopefully you're getting kind of an idea of a method of how to do this. Yeah, it's really a lot more diagonal. This starts here and goes straight down there, like. Yeah, that's don't know how much that's gonna help me. Kind of helping. Well, I'm gonna have to really, I'm gonna turn off soft select here. I'm gonna have to really move these all down quite a lot, actually. Because of how much it moves down. And then I'll have to reshape that a little bit. Probably going to need another loop here, you know, to get the shape I want, and then once again, you know, we'll work on pushing these things in. Does that go? Go so low. Yeah, and maybe I need to do another extrude edge here, because shift right mouse click extrude edge, because it looks like, you know, this is going to kind of come around and just scale that down, maybe move it. Yeah, scaling might be good. I also might straighten it out this way. Does that kind of straighten it out for me? Oh yeah, that helps a little bit. And then yeah, and you may need like another extra loop there, and then might take this one and do that same thing, that straightening out just as a starting point, and then, you know, and then maybe going back and rounding it out, maybe by taking something like that and using soft select and kind of pushing that in a bit on this one. Anyways, it's I get too like wrapped up in this stuff. So hopefully you're getting an idea of how to go about this. Clearly there's a lot more to do, but you know, I'm starting to get that, you know, that crisscross, and I think you do like a similar thing here, although you wouldn't have to go as far, because you would just what you would see, and you might want to give the edge some thickness when you're all done, but get that the whole thing first before you're done, and then sort of figure out how you want to terminate that. It's not really clear from the drawing, like where that kind of ends. So Oh, and then this is, you might want to do some kind of indication if this like a sleeveless shirt and there's a arm there. Let's take a look at these. Some weirdness down here. I guess that's their effort to get the knees in. You know, triangles. It's a little tight here. These lines are a little close. I might spread that out a little bit, and I think you've got just a bit of overlap on this edge, and that, you know, maybe you just want to scale that in a little bit. And then maybe scale this in too, just to get a little more thickness down there. Looks a little better. Alright. And what else? Yeah, well, that's plenty. Shoes. I think they're alright. Yeah. I just don't want to spend too much time on any one model. Alright, yeah, good work. Keep going. Okay, this is Hannah, and yeah, this is looking very good. I like these boots a lot. I've got really good shape to it, really nice round shapes, and liking the buckles and all that. Maybe a little bit like difference, more of a difference between the back and the front here of the knee. Add a little bit of topology through the middle there, you know, maybe Control Shift X, and I might, you know, just cut a couple little, slices, I don't know, somewhere through, and then, you know, just, well, let's turn on symmetry, hold down W, symmetry, symmetry, and then, you know, maybe just give this a little bit more shape here. You know, go, whoops. You could go in or out, you know, whatever you want to do, but just to give it, you know, I think that kind of thing helps. And also, you just want a little bit more geometry for when it starts bending. Yeah, body looks good. I think you were asking about whether you should have the body underneath here, and I think in this case, you know, I always say just, you know, you should only model what you can see, but you pretty much can see the body underneath the vest, so I would leave it. And there was some concern about, you know, the better these lines match those lines, the more you know, chance you have of it, you know, not being an issue. So I might add, just put on wireframe unshading, Control Shift X, you know, add one maybe around here, you know, to kind of help match it. And the other ones are pretty close. There's not one down here, so maybe we'll add one more there. And you can always kind of tweak the model a little bit once you've done that. Is there another one here? No, I guess that's about the same. Yeah, most of the topology matches pretty well, so I think you're likely to be okay with the binding and getting them to move together. And the hands are looking good. I think you're going to want a little bit more detail on the knuckles, so maybe you know, especially, you know, everywhere it's going to bend, you should have 3 loops is sort of the rule of thumb. And so I think, you know, another loop here, and then one on either side of that one, and one more here to get the geometry you need. And you had another question, which I don't think I really understood, which was, should I extrude out the shirt, sleeve holes, collar of the shirt, or make the areas the shirt doesn't cover a separate object? Um, I guess if it's part of the shirt, you can extrude it out of the shirt. Just leave holes. Collar of the shirt. The area of the shirt. If it's part of the shirt, extrude it out of the shirt. I'm not sure I'm really understanding exactly what you're saying there. But yeah, well, good progress on this. Is looking nice. Okay, next up is Gordon, and yeah, this is a real departure from the other ones. I think it's gonna be challenging. I wonder, did you want this faceted look on the spheres? I guess maybe you did. You know, the rigging might be challenging if you want this stuff to remain rigid looking. I think these shoes are interesting. Don't know what those pieces are down there, but yeah, I guess you're gonna want to find a way to connect these together. Maybe do something to round out or add some detail to the back of those shoes. Maybe less blocky on these things. You know what you might like the look of, like, once you've done this. In fact, why is this? Why have you combined these two sides? You don't want to do that. Anyway, I was just gonna say, like, you can have this kind of geometric thing, but also make it a little bit more. Oof, why is there so much geometry on there? Jeez, that is completely unnecessary to have that. That's so dense. I think you could use more about here. But anyway, what I was going to show you was, oh yeah, and these you have as combined. I guess separate those as well. Mesh separate. There shouldn't be combining all that stuff. Just going to do G to repeat the last command, which was the separate one. Okay. Anyways, so the point I was making is if you took something like deform, create nonlinear, flare, you could click this open and add some, let's say, some curve in the middle here, and you know, maybe you want to, you know, pinch it at the top and bottom. Could go further with the curve even. See if I like that. I don't know. You know, something like that sometimes might be, to me, that starts to be more interesting of a shape than the just plain blocky one. Maybe I went too far here. Or yeah, you can go the other way too, you know. Anyway, just play with it and see if you like that. And then when you're done, you can just delete the history off of it all, and then I'll get rid of the Alt-Shift-D is delete history. I'll get rid of the flare controller. This is, I don't know why you've put so much density into these. There's no reason for that. Wow, there's just, that is just some crazy geometry there. I think you can do that much simpler. Literally, it could just be 2 cylinders, it would be fine. Yeah, that's some interesting stuff going on here. Looks like you got something started there and here. And again, why so dense? And I don't think you need that bevel on there. Is that on purpose? I don't know. I don't think it needs to be so dense. Yeah, it's alright. Start to the hand. Alright, well, I just think this is tough because of the kind of robotic nature of it, but yeah, keep going forward and let me know if you have any questions. Okay, this is Catherine, and yeah, it's looking good so far. Got some good detail in the hands. Maybe round out those fingertips a little bit. They're looking a little flat. That's alright, I guess. I think maybe figure out what you're doing here with the collar. Just looking at the drawing a little bit. Paint it to the model, maybe side by. Okay, that's helpful. Yeah, obviously get those leg pieces in there. I think maybe the shoes could be a little. They look, these kind of have this bulge around the toe, so you could sort of pull up these. Maybe those a touch too. Maybe not so squared off. Maybe some of this could, type symmetry turn. I'm just holding down W to get that marking menu. Maybe I can that in a little bit. Maybe this down some, back a little bit here, just to soften out that corner. So yeah, we'd keep going. I definitely think you can work on the shape of this whole thing, and I think not such kind of sharp cornered edges. These shoes look a lot more rounded. And then just take a look at the side view of the shoe and this curve here, and I think you can get some better shapes. I think this comes down more. I think that comes down more a little bit. Maybe the whole thing. A little flatter, not quite such tall shoes. I don't really like what's happened there. Was it like that to begin with? I guess so. Yeah, I didn't notice this being. Oh, I guess it is sort of pushed in the middle there. I don't really feel like. I think it's actually the other way around, where this would be more rounded out that way instead of kind of concave like it is. Yeah, this is looking all right. I think it would really help to have the body in there. And so if this is the finished collar thing, you could take this edge, double click, shift right mouse click, extrude edge, and then just have this go in a little bit. Maybe extrude edge again, and maybe just straight down. Maybe push back that way a little bit, just to kind of fold it over, around there, so you get that sort of thickness. Although I might clean up some of this stuff first, because that looks a little bunched in a few spots. I don't know if that was intentional or not. But let me just undo those extrudes, and maybe we can smooth that out a little bit. I might try using, I'm a fan of this under surfaces. This Sculpt Geometry tool, control spacebar to get my controls back. Where did it go? And the smooth thing here, and I'll go ahead and turn on stroke reflection so it's on both sides, and yeah, just kind of just sort of smooth this out a bit. So I might do that first, and if you lost some of the shape, you can always sort of put it back in. But then after I did that, I might go do these extrude face edge or whatever. And again. Better. Alright, well, keep moving forward. Okay, this is Craig, and yeah, what you've got looks pretty good so far. No hands yet. Let me know if you need help with that. I think most of the shapes look pretty good. Yeah, it looks like you're doing the sort of instancing thing where you can control both sides, but there's the reason I don't love that is like if I'm, if I want to do something like select, that and, scale it, see how it's doing weird stuff. Like, and so I if you have it where you're kind of turning the symmetry on and off, you could turn it off and do something like scale in or scale out the waist or anything that goes across both. But if you don't, then you can't. So that's why the instancing thing is not my favorite. I would, you can say modify, convert instance to object, and then I could take these two, mesh, edit mesh, combine. Which is, oh, I'm sorry, I'm at mesh, sorry, mesh, combine, and then we can actually just select all the verts of this and just say edit mesh, merge, options, 0.001, merge. Whoa. Went a little crazy on the normals when I did that. I wonder if there was something else going on with the surface that it would do that. That was very strange. So I might try mesh display set to face and mesh display soften edge. Oh, that's interesting. That doesn't like the soften edge. Ooh, what in goodness' name is going on with this? That's strange. That's weird enough that I might close Maya and open it again. I'll just save this. Well, restarting Maya didn't help. You know what else I'm noticing is that I can't select edge loops. That's usually a sign that something's not right about the surface, but when I move these around, they all seem fine, so I don't know what is going on. Because that should select that whole loop when I double click. Yeah, and that should select when I shift double click that one. Very odd. Is anything doing that? Oh, so there it's working. It's just something about this surface. It doesn't like to pick edge loops. I could try mesh cleanup on that. I don't have much hope for that. Mesh cleanup and check all these. The inside disappears. That's not so good. Oh, see, now this is acting normally though. That's interesting. So what was it? So there's something about this back that's because when I clean up, it seems to get rid of the back. That's weird. Well, it's selecting edge loops now, and we got rid of that. Oh, there's some issues with. Oh, that's just because of your instancing thing. I thought I merged? Oh, it just probably wasn't lined up perfectly. Yeah, so I just have to go through and or like merge to center on these. See on my mirror, I should have made sure it was exactly touching, and I didn't. Well, go back and do that again later. But yeah, hopefully that was helpful. Yeah, get your hands going and keep going on the character. Looks like William decided to do a sort of a version of the character that came with the course. This is sort of, I keep that design more in case people, can't get their own character design, but if your design is okay, you might want to use this. Maybe add some extra holding edges to kind of square those off. You could round out the shape of the shoes more, give this lip more shape, that kind of thing. That looks messed up. Especially around here. Really twisted looking. I don't know how you ended up with that. It's not any easy did you do a bridge or something to build that? So it sort of feels like you might actually want to take that out and try it again or something. Does that already look better? I think it does. Then you can go in and kind of clean it up a little bit. I like that smooth tool under the surfaces menu, surfaces Sculpt Geometry tool. Double click on the tool. In this case, I'll make sure stroke reflection is off and put on the smooth thing and make this a bit smaller and just kind of unifying this a little bit. Oh, going too far. But now it looks, oh yeah, that helped. Yeah, that's better. Oh, that's going to need to be kind of fattened out again then. Yeah, some of this stuff got squeezed in a bit. But, B for soft select. Maybe hold down B and make this a bit smaller. W for move, hold down W. Axis, normal. Pull out on this end, and you can kind of just sort of thicken things out a little bit. Get some mass to all that. And then again, maybe touch that up. Anyway, that's a little better. Yeah, too thin there. I could do some more of the same. And yeah, and take just a look at this sort of top of the sweater. I think it kind of rounds out down there and has a different shape from the side, so you might want to touch that up. Which is the one we worked on? This one. Yeah, I mean you can sort of see the inconsistent, how messed up that looks in that old version. So, all right, yeah, good start. Keep going. Okay, this is Adanya, and so overall it's looking like a pretty good start. I think you should try to get these trousers a little more fitted to the body. Looks like they're, whoops. Kind of the big overlap here in the back, and yeah, there's some funny stuff going on with the surface. Actually, it looks a little asymmetrical. Let me just isolate this. Yeah, something got a little busted there. I might mirror them again. Whoops. Yeah, clearly they're not symmetrical right now. Shift right mouse click, mirror. And yeah, like I might start with these just by making them making a little flatter, just to get rid of some of that weird shape you've got there, and then maybe moving this. I'll put it back. I'm holding down W for that marking menu. Go back to object mode. I'm just going to deselect the ones on either end and just kind of pull this out a little bit at a time. Just to round out the back a little bit. Oh, and there's a little issue here. Let's get those merged to center. I don't have a hole going all the way around it. No, just those little guys for some reason weren't lined up. So I should have made sure that before I mirrored that everything was lined up on the center line, and I didn't. Merge to center. There we go. Oh, what's this guy doing here? When there's nothing else there, that's odd. Shift right mouse click, delete vertex. Okay, that went away. Let's see what this is looking like now. Yeah, so there's not really much of a, oh. What's happened here? Control Shift X. Click on this one, click on that one, enter, okay. And maybe I'll surfaces, Sculpt Geometry tool, double click, using the smooth here, make sure mirror the screen, the reflections off. Well, actually maybe I should turn it on. That didn't help. I don't like what that's doing. Okay, so trying to hold on W, symmetry. Oh, ooh, the symmetries. What the heck? I broke the symmetry somehow. Okay, let's try that again. Select half this thing. I don't know what I did. Select this edge. Oh, look, I didn't. All right. That's really weird. Oh, maybe because symmetry's still on, it's like freaking out. Yeah. Okay. So Control F9 will convert that to vertices. And let's just make sure those are on the center line. Just absolute transform 0. Oh, that's interesting. What was that? I'm just going to reopen this. I don't know, I've done something bad. Let's just try to do it right the first time. Okay, so this time let's select that, shift select this one, Control F9, move absolute transform X0. That's interesting. How is it? Oh, so the character is not built on the center line to begin with. Okay, so that was not something I did. Well, that's sort of confusing from the start then. Oh, it's like this part is, but that part isn't. For some reason the pants aren't centered. Okay, now I can see why that was so confusing. I just sort of assumed that they were. So let's hold down D and V, middle mouse drag, let's say there. See where that is, and then I don't know, maybe in the top view we can move this to the center line there. And now that the whole thing's moved to the center line, edge, shift, double click this, control F9 for vertices, move tool, or an absolute transform, y, x is 0. I don't know if you saw it, there was a very subtle, tiny little movement on that vert there. Now let's mirror it. Just make sure we've got, I think we went, I thought it was the other direction. Let's see if this works. I guess it mirrors it to the positive direction is what they mean. Custom 0.001 mirror. Good. Okay. Alright, now that's looking more normal. Okay. Good. So now, yeah, this is looking a little wacky here. So I might just turn symmetry on and what? And delete history. How could it possibly not be working if I just mirrored it? That is very weird. I don't know. Yeah, I think you're going to need more geometry here, but let's... So in general, this all needs to move in, so I might take actually all of these, and my trick for this is go into the move tool, hold down move, change to axis, normal, and then if you do the normal, they kind of all go in towards the center. And then maybe I'll just take, well, let's isolate this for a second. I might do, B for soft select, and then grow that selection, and then pull these out. I might select a few more. Looking, but anyways, you might need to get in there and really move it point by point to get it just right. You also, I think you're going to need another row here, and then you can maybe pull these out. Oops. It's kind of good for this, actually, this normal thing, kind of giving the butt some more. Just make sure you're always dragging on the end. It's a little bit hard to see here. Is that looking better? Yeah. Still needs a lot of work. Looks sort of, yeah, looks really funny in the front now too. Might try the Sculpt Geometry tool again. This has its reflection thing working, and I can use this, just using this push thing. Oh, way too big. Max displacement, let's try like 0.1. Could use a softer brush, maybe a little bit bigger. And just pushes in a little bit with each click. I pushed that in too far. But anyways, you'll need to match those surfaces together. I'm probably overdoing it. I mean, you can just push the individual vertices around. You don't have to use all these crazy tools. Probably making it harder than it needs to. Yeah, so get that matched up better, fitting better, and kind of better shape to the top of the legs and the butt and stuff like that. Looks like way too high to me now. Maybe if I take this and just sort of move it down, maybe maybe use edge slide, shift right mouse, slide edge tool. It's doing some not great things too, but yeah, maybe you need another loop there to add some more detail. Either way, that needs a lot of time and attention to get that shape looking right. Alright, yeah, and then you haven't done the hands yet, so it'd be good to get the hands and get these boots a little less squared off. They look a little maybe too squared off. Maybe you don't need all these extra edges at the corner unless you really wanted it squared off. Yeah, when I look at these, they don't have that weird squared shape at all, so I think you should go back and really round these out and get rid of some of these extra edges. You might want to try, like, I think, let's get rid of these loops. I'm just shift double clicking to get the whole loop. Oh god, there's a lot of tiny little things in here. Just get rid of that first, and maybe this too. And then what I was thinking was you could try circularizing this top thing. And then scale that in, and that's going to get us a fair bit of the way there. We've got all these extra edge loops here. Shift right mouse click, delete edge. Doesn't want to pick all the, ooh, yeah, look out for stuff like that. Shift right mouse click, delete edge. That kind of worries me, but then we could try circularize down here too, maybe. Yeah, you've got all these extra edges at these corners here. I'm just going to take out something like that. And yeah, it's a real square heel here. I don't know that I'd think maybe everything but that I might slide edge and just spread that out a bit. Same here, shift right mouse click, slide edge, and then let's see if I can get this to circularize a bit too, although we've got this. I might just take that whole thing out for right now. See this again? Jeez. I got a little shift right mouse click, delete vertex. Then I put that whole edge away. Put it back in, control shift X, and just click here and here. Put that back. That's part of the reason it's not selecting all the way around. Shift right mouse click, delete vertex, control shift X, click here, click here. Okay, and maybe I don't need this one. Shift right mouse click, delete edge. Okay, now it's doing a much better job of selecting around because we don't have all those weird vertices and that, and then just twist to get that to straighten out. Oh, got another one here. That was, yeah, I'll delete that and then just put these back in. Just wait till it turns red. So, you know, starting to get a little nicer of a shape here, and then I could get this to start matching the top of the leg some more. Add some more, you know, maybe a couple more edge loops, and you can start, you know, giving this some more shape. Anyway, keep going. Maybe this, that, you know, then after all that work, you can extrude this in. Shift right mouse click, extrude edge, push it back down. You know, something like that. That's starting to look a little bit more like you're drawing, and I still think it's a little blocky in parts here, but that's looking better. All right. Okay, this is Gwendolyn, and yeah, the shapes are looking okay so far. There is something funny going on with the legs. You can see when you do the smooth, all this crazy stuff happens. I'm going to try and run mesh cleanup on it. I don't know if that's going to solve it, but lamina, non-manifold, edges with zero length, faces with zero geometry, apply. I don't know if that did anything. Oh, actually it does look better. Okay, so that may have cleaned it up for you. Because this is, yeah, that's looking okay. Alright, good. Yeah, this could use a little bit more detail and shaping on the shoes. It's looking a little kind of early stage here. I think, you know, maybe get a little bit more going with the color. This looks like it's lacking detail in the arm, so it's getting really, you know, those very extremely elongated faces are having a hard time. So put a few more splits in the arm, get a little bit more shape to the arms, and get some more geometry here, and get the shoulders in. You know, that's can do a little bit, but you know, like that, for example, and maybe I can scale these out a bit, you know, and then maybe one here. Maybe one for the bicep. Yeah, I'm just being real quick about it, but obviously you could put some more time in. Maybe you want to get a little bit more of an elbow indication here. And you know, the shoulders could come up a little bit. Maybe you want some more detail here, and that could maybe go down just a touch, and then again helping kind of form those shoulders, which I seem to have gone too far with. Maybe a little bit more underarm, armpit. And get this to match a little bit better here in the shape, and have, you know, either the shirt go over the top of the pants or the pants get tucked into the shirt, one or the other. So yeah, I think it's a little early days. Let's look at your hands. Yeah, it's looking a little flat here. I mean, I might get rid of, let's turn off symmetry, holding down W, and then click. I might get rid of some of these for the moment. Shift right mouse click, delete edge, and then take this guy and circularize that, and then maybe this too. And then, you know, I can still flatten it out a bit, but at least it's a little bit more rounded there, and this could be a bit flattened but sort of round, and then Then I can add, you know, a couple there and give it more shape if I want at that point. You could pull some points out here, B for soft select, and, you know, pull this out. Whoops. Oh, that's way too big. So it's kind of, I might be pulling that down with it. Yeah, see, I don't like that. Yeah, I think generally this needs some attention. I like that under the surfaces. I like the Sculpt Geometry tool. You can use this smooth thing here and turn off stroke reflection. Hold down B, click. Hold down B, click and drag, and make that smaller. And just, oh, it's doing too much for me here. So, yeah, maybe. Just kind of balancing out some of this stuff, and then I can go back in and try and get some of that shape back now. Maybe select a bunch of these. I guess shrink this off select quite a bit. And if I use hold down W, and we can try axis normal and drag on that. Get a little bit of that bulge in there. And then maybe a little bit here too. Kind of push it in there. Anyway, you know, give it some more shape. We can do the same on these. Anyways, it's starting to get a little bit more shape. I think you've got a few too many loops here. I think some of these are making it hard to keep this looking as smooth as it could. I guess that's alright. Yeah, what's going on with this right here? Something's the matter. Something's wrong here. It's not double clicking, selecting the loop. Let's try mesh cleanup on this one as well. Mesh cleanup, same options. I think it just fixed it. Something's not right. Yeah, look at that. Something. Let me just delete this whole loop here. Is that all the way around? Oh, look at this. That's weird. That was like hidden inside. Jeez. Will it bridge now? Shift right mouse click. Bridge. Yeah, that's better. And now I'm not getting that weird ring around there. You just had some surfaces inside, and cleanup wasn't able to get rid of those. Okay. Yeah, so keep going. For this thing, I would probably just start with like sort of a torus, and then make it kind of thin, and make sure there's plenty of divisions, and then just shape it to the body. I'm not sure there's any better way. And the other thing is you could just texture it on. You could just paint it on if you don't want to model it. So that would be the other choice. So either paint it on when we do texturing, or start with a torus and then just carefully fit it to the body. This is Josh, and yeah, this looks really good. You shouldn't have the hands. I don't like the hands being the same surface, so I would say mesh separate and have those be separate. But yeah, really nice hand model. Jeez. Oh, looks like you've done it. differently from the lesson. Which is okay, but yeah, it's definitely different. But it looks good. So maybe you want a little more detail where it's going to bend here, but it might be alright there, yeah. I like it, actually. Look out for this intersecting here, get that cleaned up. Might want a little more detail on the back. These are very stretched out faces, so maybe another couple loops there and get a little more shape to the back. You know, if we turn on symmetry, I'm just holding down W, Control Shift X to get the edge loop tool, and you know, something like that, and then go in and adjust the shape a little bit more, maybe give them some more, you know, shoulder blades, something like this, like, you know, kind of pulling that out a little bit, and maybe, you know, maybe even these out a touch, and maybe spreading some of those out better, and could be you want to get another loop going around here and get a bit more shoulders going here. That's too much. This looks like a little, lost a little bit of mass here, so maybe I could kind of come out some. Yeah, anyways, I think it's looking great overall. Maybe a little bit more of an indication of a knee. As, you usually want around, I don't know exactly where the knee is, but let's say it's around here. And usually want a little more detail there, and then at least something that just shows. Oh, did I turn symmetry off, or is it not working on here? No, I have it on. Might try to re-mirror these. I'm just going to isolate these and go to face, select these, and what happened there? Nope. Nope. Something's not quite straight or something with these. Select this inside edge loop. Get rid of this here. Control F9 will convert that to vertices, and see, that's at an angle. That's a little weird. Let's do absolute transform and move these to 0. What? Why did absolute transform to that? What? I'm going to freeze transformation on this guy. Delete history. Try that again. Control F9 to go to vertices. Oh, I'm missing these somehow. What is going on where when I select these, it's picking those? Something's funny with this surface. Whoa, what is that? Alt-Shift-D to delete history. What? Just gonna try. Oh, I don't know. That's really strange. Might just want to redo this whole top. Okay, that's back to normal now. shift right mouse click, mirror. Whoops. Well, that's not right. Not real. I'm wondering if this ridge here is intentional, because that looks a little weird. Let's put the pivot point here. Just held down D and V and make sure that's at the center. Mirror options, shift right mouse click, mirror options, object, X, custom 0.001 mirror. Oh, now it's wrong. I don't know. Maybe it's because moving the thing. Yeah, and then once that's kind of sound, then you can rebuild that top part. I don't know if you want this little ridge here or not. The rest of that's looking pretty good. Yeah, so in the shoes, oh geez. This is pretty crazy. What? It sort of looks like just two surfaces kind of stuck together or something. You've got this extruding through here. It just like, I think you should do this a lot differently. You started out with this cylinder and then you extruded this big chunk out. It's kind of a mess, honestly. I might do something a little closer to the lesson video as far as doing the shoes, as far as your approach to it, because this is kind of a mess and everything's overlapping and it lacks the tail and it looks sort of funny in the end, and you've got all these weird creases and stuff here. So yeah, I may take a step back with this and rebuild those shoes. Alright, the hands are really good. Just wondering where you got this process from, because it doesn't look like, if you do have a tutorial you use for these, I'd love to see it, because they seem to work really well. And if you if you imported from something else, let me know that too. Alright, yeah, I'd love to see, where you build those from. Because honestly, it looks sort of like you got it from somewhere else, but... It's got a hand thong on it. Like what it looks like is you imported this from another file, because it has its own material. It's a thong named hand on it. Anyways, let me know if that's the case. I'll assume you modeled it from scratch unless I hear otherwise.